What's up, New Jersey? Welcome back to another episode of the NJ1ST podcast. My name is Ryan McDonald. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel because I'll be uploading New Jersey political content every week in 2024 and in 2025, just like I did in 2023. I'm shooting for more than 25% of legislative districts to have interviews with me. That's what I was able to accomplish this 2023. We'll see how 2024 goes, and that brings me to the topic of this video, Jeff Van Drew. In 2024, will he run for Senate? He is the congressman in 2020 that changed as a 30-plus year elected Democrat with the help of Donald Trump to a Republican, and he's been a Republican all the way until it's going to be 2024 coming up. Let's look at his record. I've reported on it in the past, even as he voted on things while it happened. But conservatives and Republicans, they like him because Donald Trump likes him. Let's look into this. But first, make sure to subscribe to NJ1ST.substack.com. That is the Substack that I'm running with monthly events throughout New Jersey. You can ask me to meet you there, plan something, collab with me, take on the Uni-Party establishment. But every month I'm uploading a calendar event, has all of the hyperlinks, brings you right to the event pages. It's a good resource. NJ1ST.substack.com. Before we get into my own NJ1ST work that I have to show you, let's listen to Fernando Uribe and Michael Testa, what they have to say about Jeff Van Drew and a possible Senate run.
Some whispers I keep hearing about, well, at some point, whoever's going to win the primary next June is going to have a Republican opponent. I hear a lot of names out there. I hear Representative Jeff Van Drew, perhaps, maybe exploring that. I hear your name, perhaps, out there. Who would you like to see challenge the Democrat for the United States Senate coming up in 2024?
Look, I think that Congressman Van Drew is a winner. He's someone that knows how the other side operates because he was on the other side prior to being a Republican. He's ultra brave. I mean, he's someone that I want everybody to understand how brave of an individual he is.
Yeah.
He was a member of the majority party who voted against Nancy Pelosi, voted against impeaching President Donald J. Trump, and changed party affiliation during an impeachment from the majority party to the minority party. That's bravery. I mean, if you look back in 30 years, and if we get to write history the real way, the right way, in the truth, in the true way, people are going to say that guy was heroic. He did an heroic action at a time when so many people were like, I'm not touching that issue. I'd like to see Congressman Van Drew really challenge the Murphy monarchy, and I think he'd have the best shot. Now, realize this: I say that knowing my history. It has been since 1972 since the state of New Jersey has had a Republican United States senator. It is going to be extremely difficult in a presidential year for any Republican to win. And I've heard my name bantered around as well, that I've won 3 times and I'm a standard bearer for the Republican Party. And I'm glad to bear that. I'm glad to be that guy, no doubt. However, I'm a party person. I would want to sit down with the party apparatus, including my congressman, Jeff Van Drew, if it's his, if he wants it, right? I mean, I don't think that anybody could really challenge him. He won after doing that brave action against a Kennedy that was extremely well funded in 2020 in a presidential year. So he's proven that he can win it was a difficult district at the time against a well-funded candidate, a well-funded name, a well-recognized name in Amy Kennedy. So I would, if I were a betting man and I was going to put the strongest horse in that race, it'd be Congressman Jeff Van Drew.
So it seems to me that Mike Testa wouldn't mind if Jeff Van Drew challenged the Tammy Murphy machine, the county ballot lines endorsements in 2024. And I wonder who would run in LD2 for 2024 if that were to happen. Maybe Michael Testa himself. I don't know. That would probably happen, to be honest, if Jeff Van Drew decided to run for Senate. Mike Testa runs for LD2, his position, Jeff Van Drew's congressional seat. And they would, Testa would definitely win. But just as Michael Testa said, he doesn't know if Jeff Van Drew would win or be up to it. So we'll have to see. Now let's go into the work that I've done for Jeff Van Drew the last 4 years. Inside of my NJ1ST ebook, which I have available for free at NJ1ST.com, I have a journal entry here in 2020 of May. It's Republican Jeff Van Drew, and I go over his voting record in 2020. And I have it saying right here, in his first year, Jeff Van Drew earned his first strike when he co-sponsored Trace Act HR 6666. It was to make a $100 billion towards a contract tracing amid the COVID pandemic virus. We even contacted his campaign strategist to ask him what the hell was going on. They revoked it right away, said it was a clerical error. Months after, Jeff Van Drew voted against the Republican Party and voted with the entire party on HR 1425 to expand the Affordable Health Care Act. I remember this one. It was specifically to include Dreamers in affordable health care. 2 months later, the flip-flop Republican, who is no Republican, voted against Donald Trump and all the other Republicans. He voted with the entire Democrat Party on HR 8015 to fund the USPS $25 billion just right before the November elections. And, you know, I kept up with all of this, and I made some YouTube videos about it and some Rumble videos, Facebook videos, and here's one right here I'm going to play real quick about a website that was realvandrew.com. It showed his voting record as he was a 30-plus year Democrat during the 2020 primaries. And he had a primary contender. It was a gentleman named Bob Patterson, and Bob Patterson ran in 2016 with Donald Trump, but lost. And you know what? Jeff Van Drew was a winner in CD2, so they took him in 2020. That's what Donald Trump did in Wildwood, you know? But we have the whole record in 2020 right off the bat. He was a Brian Fitzpatrick, Pennsylvania Republican, voting with them, voting with all the Democrats. And I have this backed up with Republicans for National Renewal. Now, they have scorecards for ranking all of their Republicans, how they vote in accordance with Donald Trump, the America First, MAGA, conservative ways, even populist ways. And Jeff Van Drew's never gotten a passing grade. In 2020, like I just showed all those terrible votes that he made with Democrats, it earned him a 47% in 2020. 2021, he increased a little bit, but still 60% is a failing grade, brother. And last year, 68. He's getting it up there, but 68% is not good. That's failing. And I can explain why he's increasing. He's increasing, you know, it goes from 18 to 60 to 68. But it's because I've seen him go on and sponsor Thomas Massey Jr.'s freedom bills, you know, against the COVID mandates, specifically the military. And although Donald Trump tried to throw Thomas Massey Jr. out of the Republican Party as a third-rate congressman, he has a 95% voting with Donald Trump and the Nationalist America First caucus right next to MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. So, you know, Jeff Van Drew's not doing pretty well, but he's at least with Thomas Massey Jr., which was Donald Trump's nemesis for a little bit there. Thomas Massey Jr. as well as supporting DeSantis, but still, he's my favorite congressman. RealVanDrew.com is the hit website for Jeff Van Drew, who is the Republican now and not a Democrat. You can see his past history voting, 27 years as Democrat, pro-gun control, anti-Trump, pro-abortion. Yeah, I guess you can flip on a dime in 2020, and now everything that you did in the past is behind you, and now you are for everything in which Trump is for. But that brings me to the beginning of this live stream, and why I'm making this live stream now, if you're just tuning in, is because he voted 2 days ago, I think it's 2 days ago, June 29th, for the Affordable Care Act, for expanding it. There was only 2 Republicans who voted. And it was him of New Jersey, the new Republican, the Democrat, who he voted with all the Democrats. It was a party line vote in the House. He voted with the Democrats, Jeff Van Drew, 2 days ago. Okay. And Brian Fitzpatrick over in Pennsylvania. And I kind of actually seen plenty of things in the past where he as well has voted with Democrats and against Republicans. So these are 2 people who are, I guess you would say, centrist, moderate, whatever. But to say that Jeff Van Drew is the incumbent Republican who is a conservative, who is pro-Trump, who is pro-gun, you know, we have all this evidence that in the past and stuff that he's not. Plenty of stuff. They have cited things here at realvandrew.com. You have to just come to that. Wow, that was in 2020. Looking back at that now. So we could have primaried him, but they chose not to. Like I said, there was Bob Patterson, ran in 2016. And I even asked a question on the Bob and Steve show.
Mentioning you guys are stepping in line. Mentioning you guys are stepping in line. And
oh, yeah, I wrote that.
Yeah. I was just hoping you guys could maybe tell us a little bit about why Bob Patterson should not be considered at all in, I guess, the primary. I read that it was like condoms and semen. That's not really an answer.
So in the article that he wrote, in which he said that Republicans are stepping in line, they are Republicans stepping in line.
Right. No, really, the answer is the president has endorsed them. We're good Republicans, and we're in line with the president.
Okay, that's a
stepping in line.
That's what I meant by. That's
what. Are you guys familiar with the website realvandrew.com? Have you ever come across
realvandrew.com?
Cross that?
Yes, but anyway, just so you know,
yes,
Brian, since I saw you, with some comments online, that's what in line meant. The president said, "I endorse this guy," in line with the president.
But you have seen that website.
Okay. Yes.
The website. realvandrew.com. I assume Bob Patterson made this website. I don't know, but it's a nice website. Rhino alert. But if you go to realvandrew.com, 27 years, Jeff Van Drew voted as a liberal Democrat. He is pro-abortion, pro-amnesty, pro-gun control, and anti-Trump. And they didn't want to have anything to do with it in 2020. They said, step in line, stick with President Trump. So you know what? I called in again in 2022 to see if maybe this time Republicans wanted a primary. Because, this year, 2023, there was only 3 primaries out of 40 legislative districts.
And I remember last congressional, the congressional run in 2020, I gave you a call, Steve, and asked about the realvandrew.com. But this year, in 2022, there's a realtomkane.com. I was just wondering if you came across that website. It shows a past voting history of his having an alignment with pretty far left voting.
Nope, I haven't looked at it. Well,
if this is something that we should look into for a primary, if the Republicans in power have history.
I probably said something similar 2 years ago. If I don't live in it and I'm not working in it, I usually don't pay attention to it. So,
well, 2 years ago, we gave Jeff Van Drew the benefit of the doubt, even though he had his public voting record. Anybody could look it up. It was with the Democrats and everything. But we gave him the benefit of the doubt, stepping in line, because Donald Trump
we went with our president. Yes.
Right, but I don't think that he's endorsing Tom Kane. And it looks like this might be a primary CD7, one that we might want to focus in on.
Well, okay.
So realtomkane.com.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. Thanks for letting me know about it. I'll take a look at it and go from there.
Awesome. Have a good day, guys.
Take care. Have a good one.
So we get listeners from all over the state.
It's incredible the reach that you and Bob have created over the last, 3 years.
Well, there we go. Thanks for pointing that out to me.
Yeah.
So I guess it's paid for by him? Is there a paid for by on there?
I haven't gotten to the bottom. Yes.
Well, it's paid for by Phil Rizzo for Congress. So without making any kinds of endorsements or anything else, I'm just going to say you got to look at the paid for by. And that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah,
yes.
we don't have the best broadband connection out here, so it took a little while for it to load on my phone. So, I thank the caller for pointing that out. I had not seen that site, until just now. And look, it's a primary battle, and
that's what happens in primaries.
And this is what happens in primaries, and there are 2 schools of thought, and I think that those 2 schools of thought concerning primaries actually can both be true at times. Sometimes it makes the party stronger.
Yeah, they are both true.
And then sometimes it tears the party apart. I mean, when we're down in this state 1 million registered voters, I think that we need to do everything that we can to get behind the candidates that are endorsed by, the county lines. If you
Hey now.
I know. No, listen, I'm a county chairman as well. And if you have a county chair
and you have a county committee that votes, there's a reason that those people are in place.
I may not agree with Jeff Van Drew on nearly anything, but things like the U.S. border, the crisis happening there, human trafficking, immigration crisis, we might be able to come to agreement on 70% of things when talking like that. He speaks on American exceptionalism. I find that interesting, but at the same time, I do understand the European perspective of that and the outside world perspective of that. But let's listen to what he has to say on this. This is 2023 today.
Here's the real issue. I mean, you have to wonder, these people in the administration around Biden have a goal. And I really believe this. And I'm not somebody that sees something behind every door, or there are hidden conspiracies. I'm not saying that. But they have a goal to change the substance and structure and fabric of the United States of America. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous because not only we cannot absorb all these people, but there are people getting in that we don't know who they are from every corner of the world. I mean, we have people from the Mideast. We have tens of thousands of Chinese nationalists. We have others. We have people that are on the terror watch list. But Bill, what we have to remember here is we know that we've caught some, and that is with a minimum amount of care. Not the Border Patrol's fault. The administration and this gentleman who is in charge of this, called Alejandro Mayorkas, who is terrible. He's awful. What he's doing to America is anti-American. When I interviewed him in committee, I said he should be impeached or resign. He said he wouldn't resign, so he should be impeached. He is hurting our people, our young people, the future of this country, by what they're doing. You know, real quickly, Sure. Republicans have put forward a good bill that now sits in the Senate dormant, H.R. 2. What does it do? Continue and finish building the wall. Make sure that any illegals that do get across are immediately extradited. They're sent back to where they belong, or at least to Mexico. Make sure we have advanced technology. Make sure that we have the stay in Mexico policy. Make sure that we do all that. We have more Border Patrol. All are in that bill, and they won't take it up on the Senate. Chuck Schumer doesn't want any part of it. That's wrong.
And that's something where we can come to terms of agreement with. But something that I really would not come to agreement with is the foreign entanglements, the wars. He supports completely Israel foreign aid, 100%. Let's listen to exactly what he says.
Where are we with Israel funding and Ukraine funding when it comes to our new House Speaker, Mike Johnson?
Well, Mike Johnson and I, we've spoken directly about that, and others have as well. Let's be clear. The days of jamming everything together into one big bill, which is what President Biden wants. So he wants aid to Palestine. He wants Indo-Pacific aid. He wants Ukraine aid, and he wants the Israel aid all in one package. Well, you shouldn't do that. Let things stand alone by themselves. If you want Ukraine aid, go for it. For example, I am an ardently, stridently pro-Israel and for the funding. They are our greatest ally. However, Ukraine's a different issue. We're not tracking the money carefully. And you know what the reality is? If we give them this $60+ billion more that this president wants to give him, they will have received just about as much money as Israel has received since 1942.
Right,
but they've received it within 1 year. Don't put those two together. They're different.
Bullshit. If anything, it's worse. 1942, you mean the backs of our ancestors in America have been funneling our money to foreign wars to secure the existence of Israel, to secure the existence of NATO countries around the world since World War II? Yeah, we don't want to do that anymore. That's America First mentality, the nationalist mentality. It's against all foreign aid, just like Thomas Massey Jr. would say. But what hypocrites are the neoconservative, conservative Republicans, probably you guys listening to this, that are in favor of Israeli aid and, 150 billion of it from 1940 to 2023. And you're completely mad, just like everybody else is mad, because Ukraine funneled just as much, 150 billion, but just in a small amount of time. Jeff Andrew, where's the logic in that, the reasoning? Anyone who's listening to this, there is none. There is absolutely none. The $3 billion every year to Israel annually. The next one is $3 billion as well to like Egypt and Jordan, and as well that is just so they don't attack Israel. We pay these Arab countries, Muslim countries, to not attack Israel. Robert Barnes even said that this is basically just bribery, international bribery, to make them do whatever they want, use the dollar, not attack people. And I disagree with foreign aid completely. Get out of all foreign entanglements. Come home, help the American people. We need the help. Thank you for watching this episode of the NJ First podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube and follow over on Rumble, NJ First, on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Hit me up to collab. Thanks for watching, guys.